Elvis Presley. Imagine you're behind the wheel of a customized touring bus, somewhere on a long stretch of highway between Los Angeles and Memphis. It's the middle of the 1960s, the road is dark, and you've got hours ahead of you. Then a song drifts out of the radio, and it doesn't just catch your ear, it stops you somewhere deep inside. You don't reach for the volume knob first, you reach for the phone. That's the moment we're here to talk about. And the man behind the wheel isn't just anybody. According to Tom Jones, who knew him personally and told this story years later, that driver was Elvis Presley. And what he did next says more about who he really was than almost any performance he ever gave on a stage. Here's what Tom says happened. Elvis, driving his bus through the night toward Memphis, heard a song on the radio that hit him so hard he tracked down a DJ friend at a Memphis radio station and made a request no ordinary listener could ever make. He asked for that song to be played on a continuous loop, not once, not twice, but over and over again, for however long it took him to drive the rest of the way home. Let that image settle for a moment, before we go any further. Because to truly understand why a song could do that to a man like Elvis Presley, you first need to understand what the song is actually about. And here's the thing. Most people who've heard it and loved it have no idea what it's really saying. The song is called The Green Green Grass of Home. It was written by a country songwriter named Curly Putman, full name Claude Putman Jr., and first recorded by a singer called Johnny Darrell in 1965. That same year, country legend Porter Wagoner took it onto the American country charts, where it climbed all the way to number 4. On the surface, it sounds almost impossibly gentle. A man steps off a train in his hometown. His parents are waiting for him. His sweetheart comes running down the road. The grass is green beneath his feet. The air is warm. Everything feels like belonging. And then the final verse changes everything. Because the man isn't home at all. He's waking up. There are cold gray walls surrounding him. He's a prisoner, a condemned man, and everything we just heard was a dream. The only way he'll ever truly come home is to be buried beneath that same green grass he was just imagining. That's what Putman hid inside what sounds like a tender, hopeful song. It's not a homecoming, it's a farewell disguised as one. Hold on to that, because it matters enormously for what happened on that highway. The reach of this song over the decades is genuinely staggering. It was recorded by artists who represent a huge sweep of American music. Johnny Cash, Merle Haggard, Joan Baez, Kenny Rogers, Roger Miller, George Jones, and even the Grateful Dead all put their own mark on it at various points. There's also a strange and wonderful footnote buried in the song's history. Curly Putman, the man who wrote it, owned a farm in Tennessee, and according to those who've traced the connection, that farm is the very place Paul McCartney was writing about years later in the Wings song Junior's Farm. One relatively quiet songwriter, sitting at the center of an unexpectedly vast web of music history. But of all the people this song would eventually touch, one young Welshman was about to give it a second life entirely, and in doing so, set in motion the events of that nighttime highway drive. In 1965, Tom Jones was just beginning to make his name. He was in New York, appearing on The Ed Sullivan Show, and like many musicians with a hunger for discovery, he spent some of his free time combing through record shops. That's where he came across a version of The Green Green Grass of Home, recorded by Jerry Lee Lewis. Something in it grabbed him immediately and wouldn't let go.